cap it off with one of my favorite guests in the whole wide world. His name is Robert Nistico, and thanks again to the Day Trader Trio. Robert Nistico, of course, is the CEO and founder of Splash Beverage Group. He was, I think, the 5th employee, senior vice president, general manager of a little company called Red Bull. Oh, perhaps you've heard of them.
Yes, I have.
And they create a number of beverages, and we got the latest version of Tap Out, who you might find on the end caps of every Walmart you walk into. But one of the things that when I first spoke to him, he talked about was influencer marketing and why people fail. And you know, James is somewhat of an expert on influencer marketing. James, talk about influencer marketing just for a second for us.
Seinfeld. Well, Sully, at a basic level, influencer marketing is a type of social media marketing strategy that uses endorsements and product mentions from influencers who have a dedicated social following and are viewed as experts within their niche. Influencer marketing works because of the high amount of trust that social influencers have built up within their following, and their recommendations serve as a form of social proof to your brand potential customers.
See, you can't teach that. You can't teach that. Hold on, hang on. Thank you. That's it.
The talent level of the DDT.
It is.
It's just
Robert. I've got your spokesperson for you there, pal. I just found him. It's James East, the multi-Grammy Award-winning bassist of the Day Trader Trio. Great to have you, man. Let's talk. By the way, thanks for the goods. He always sends goods. Somehow some get drank faster than others. But we got to do packaging for Tap Out. And what a story that was. One thing we haven't talked about, Robert, and by the way, Robert is, again, the CEO and founder of Splash Beverage Group. They are publicly traded on the stock symbol SBEV. How did the Tap Out story start? Because when you founded this company, was that one of your first or was it one of the last? Talk about that one.
Yeah, actually, it was one of our first brands. Tap Out for years was associated with the UFC. It was synonymous with the UFC and MMA. Over time, the MMA kept growing and the UFC kept growing. And then the brand owners for the core IP, remember it was originally just clothing and line equipment, they elected not to re-up with the UFC. So we came in and we own all things consumable. And we started with Tap Out Beverage. Actually, it's our first brand. Yeah,
so, and it's gone through some iterations, but that was also one of the milestones that's happened in the last few years that's gotten you on the maps, and that was with the distribution with Walmart. You talked from the very first time I ever spoke to you, Robert, about the importance of distribution is always underestimated, and your story is probably the best example I can think of what happened to you guys as a company and what happened to the brand the minute Walmart decided to put you on their shelves and their end caps, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And Walmart and other fantastic regional retail partners and national retail partners. But really having the ability to get it to the shelf is the key thing. You can have the greatest brand in the world, but if it's not on shelf, it's not for sale, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we put out a lot of press releases pretty much every week about different distribution deals that we have just signed. And, you know, I can't talk about revenue and forward-looking, statements, but what I can say, which is very important for people to understand, is when we sign a distribution agreement with, say, an InBev Budweiser distributor, or maybe not, maybe a Miller Coors distributor, or one of the recent ones, which is Khalil in Arizona, which is pure Dr. Pepper, that's our customer. We actually, the AR, the accounts receivable cycle, starts when we sign those deals and ship that product.
Yeah.
So it's really great. It's fast turnaround for us for cash.
Well, that's good. Now, Robert, as I was going to ask you this, and it's interesting you brought it up, because I see press releases out literally 3 to 5 days a week talking about new distribution deals. Are you concentrating on new distribution kind of the primary goal here? Are you still looking at acquisitions? Are you still looking at even product development? We're seeing new products come on your
really all three. I mean, getting our legacy brands out there, making sure they're available and on shelf, very important, right? That's Tap Out and Salt Tequila. And, of course, as you well know, we bought Copa Divino and Popo Loco.
Right.
Been working those for a while. But acquisition is a very, very important part of our strategy. As we move into the rest of this year and into next year, we're constantly evaluating targets. I like to say there's a conveyor belt of targets coming across our desks. And some make sense, good brands, some don't. but we are hot on the trail for acquisition, and you might see some news here sometime this summer.
Hey, talk about that Copa di Vino deal, because you know that's it's a favorite packaging of mine. Because if you open up their variety box of Copa di Vino, you find 3 different wines in there, and they're in plastic disposable cups, as you can see.
Oh yeah.
Single serving, and now are you in Dodger Stadium or Yankee Stadium? It's one.
Dodger Stadium. Yeah, we just launched Dodger Stadium, and I think we've had 1 or 2 games there so far, and we've gone through hundreds and hundreds of cases of both Copa di Vino and Popo Loco. We're quite pleased with the pull through there, and honestly, the resin cups that Copa di Vino came in were really groundbreaking. You'll see, you go to any store today, there's all sorts of ready to drink wine now in single serve format. Copa di Vino was really the trailblazer there, sort of the innovator there. And those cups are actually dishwasher safe. People reuse them. It's a especially hard, they call it crystal resin. It's really a nice package.
Oh, so yeah, because it really is, and they're not plastic. My mistake, because but they won't break. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Because I may have some personal experience, and they do not break. Let's talk about what happens real quickly coming up in the next 18 months with respect to product development. I know you can't talk about numbers, can't really give us much about acquisitions, but are you staying the course, or is there a different direction you're going into, or because I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right, Robert?
Yeah, no, we're growing. Our Q1 22 numbers are due, I think, on Monday, so you'll see what those numbers are. And no, we're staying the course. Really blocking and tackling and executing on our legacy brands, but then hot on the trail, as I mentioned earlier, for acquisition. And we are, I can say this, I've said this publicly, we are evaluating numerous targets at any given time. And we are quite a ways down the path. You never know, nothing's done till it's done. I like to say done's a 4-letter word at Splash Beverage Group. So until you sign that paper or the wire hits, nothing is done. But we're getting pretty close on a couple, and we'll see. You should see some news from.
All right, well, Robert, I think it's time to start bugging you to come in studio here, pal. We got through COVID together. Now it's time to get you to San Diego. It's not a big ask, but come on. All right, Robert Nistico, CEO, founder, Splash Beverage Group. SBEV is their stock. So